from the economy, an interesting topic which formed the campaign promises of the President Muhammadu Buhari administration is the promise to fight corruption, with the popular phrase, "If Nigeria does not kill corruption, then corruption will kill Nigeria." Fighting corruption has in the past 2 years been common in the news items and reports all over the country, and it's another area which the performance of this administration is rated. Nigeria has been rated 136th least corrupt nation out of 175 countries in the last 3 years by Transparency International, casting shadows on the efforts of the government, evident in arrests of high-profile individuals, including members of the judiciary, in connection with cases of looting public funds, recovery of looted funds in unlikely places, and ongoing cases of corruption at various levels of the court in the country.
Corruption did not start overnight. This has eaten deep into the fabric of society. Corruption is everywhere. It is not just economic corruption. Corruption is virtually everywhere. It's in the mosque, it's in the church, it's in the market, it's in the schools, it's virtually everywhere. And it has taken root. So it will not take 2 years. It will not take 4 years. It will not even take 8 years. I don't know how long it will take for the fight against corruption to begin to show reasonable signs of, success. But so far, the revelations have been mind-boggling and mind-blowing. The dividends, if I want to borrow that word, may still be far from being enjoyed by the populace, but I think we are on track.
However, there are critics of the government's approach.
Corruption is bad. Corruption should not be allowed to grow. The government should put in place institutions and structures to fight corruption, not just at the political level, those who are in power, but the kind of thing I thought government should have been able to put in place is the kind of program that Buhari put in place when he came in the first and war against indiscipline. Something like that. Not necessarily people being caned, but awareness of the need to build a good society. At the bus stops, need to queue. In the offices, need to carry a file to your office, to your boss without being induced. To have that kind of cultural orientation that may help people to be able, and then it will go down. If you catch all the thieves at the top, a new set of thieves will come up. If you catch all the thieves and you catch all of them and lock them up, a new set of thieves will come up. So you need to address what is the cause of corruption. Corruption is very bad, but what we are saying is that, and people have said also, I cannot really confirm, but it appears so, that it is one-sided. It's like fighting your enemies. The fight against corruption should continue. I'm a supporter of it, but that should be done in a better way through institutions, through structures put in place.
One of the issues which the present administration inherited was insurgency. The last administration had over time been rated low in the handling of Boko Haram in the northeastern part of the country.
About 22 local governments out of 27 were overrun by Boko Haram, and this miscreant hoisted their flags in the headquarters and other major cities and towns of these 22 local government areas. They have sacked military barracks, they have sacked civil authorities, and Maiduguri, the state capital, became the host to all the 27 local government IDPs that were sacked, as well as military and paramilitary organizations that were sacked from these various local government to the state headquarters. At a point, you need a visa before you go to where we went to today, talking about Mafa, talking about Dikwa, Ngala, and Kalabalge, because it is under the sole control of Boko Haram terrorists.
And this built a high expectation from the incoming government, one which many say have been met.
You can now move freely. A lot of roads were blocked. Even within the city, there were barricades. There are areas that were considered as no-go areas. But now you can move freely. You can travel from here to Yobe without any fear of attack. The road linking Maiduguri to Biu has been opened. And recently, just last week, the road linking Biu to Yobe, to Damatru in Yobe State has been opened. So these are part of efforts being made towards ending the insurgency.
The victory is further heightened with the release of over 100 of the 200 abducted Chibok girls at the height of insurgency. Well, this has not given the administration a full score in the area of security.
By December 2015, the government claimed that Boko Haram had been technically defeated. Technically was the language of the government. But we find that the upsurge of bombings, and Boko Haram still kept some territories, which was contrary to the claims of the government. And apart from that, there's the emerging trend of herdsmen, whether they are Fulani or Yoruba or Calabar or whatever herdsmen, but there were herdsmen all over. And we are told by the government that these are foreigners. Some of them, the president is that they are from other countries. That also is an indictment on the government. If you say that these herdsmen who are terrorizing communities all over the country, that how did they enter the country? So these are issues about the security. There are more kidnappings now than before.
Another area of interest has been infrastructural development, with housing and infrastructure development named as the main planks of the National Economic Growth and Recovery Plan. There's been renewed relationship with China in the bid to accelerate work in this area. However, provision for this sector in the 2017 budget worries some Nigerians.
I noticed the Power Works and Housing Ministry naturally together, I think about 539 billion naira. It's the, I think, the largest of all the allocations. But then when you break it to the component parts, Power Housing Ministry, each is a powerful ministry, nowhere near. Take power, for example. What the multi-year tariff order allows for TCN, that is the Transmission Company of Nigeria, which is still under government care, it's over 450 billion. What's provided for under the budget is just a little bit above 40 billion naira. So those are issues, and these go to infrastructure. And if you don't get infrastructure right, we will continue this, what I always call sell oil and spend economics. It's not going to take us too far.
But the government has been applauded in its recent work in the aviation sector. The runway of the Nnamdi Azikiwe International Airport had been reported risky for use, and a swift action had led to its repairs. The more impressive part was the prompt reopening of the runway after the slated 8 weeks, adding scores to the government's safety consciousness.
Safety-wise, the industry has been experiencing a wonderful time. For us at Accident Investigation Bureau, for example, we've not had any major accident in the last 2 years. Maybe there are few incidents, but they are not. There has been no loss of life, no loss of life in the last 2 years. So for safety in the industry, it's been relatively okay.
Well, there's still at least 1 year left for the APC-led government to win the heart of more Nigerians and subsequently get their votes during the next election. Our job as a media organization is to bridge the gap between the two parties, that's the governed and the government, and this we promise to keep doing objectively. Well, let's stop here for now and come with another area of discussion next week. Thank you so much for watching. I'm Amy John Mekwa.